course.
Well, how are things better and worse this week?
It's really hard getting the family together for dinner. The kids are kind of getting involved in their new school activities. I don't want to be at home with their parents, especially because we can't afford to feed them good food. So they might as well be out to other places. It's been hard for my husband. You know, he was an engineer in Cuba, and here he is working in a restaurant, and it can be demoralizing for him at the end of the day. And of course, I'm supposed to go out and get a job. I never had a job before in my life, and these interviews don't seem to be going well. My resume really doesn't get picked up by anyone, in spite of the fact that I have advanced degrees. It's not the best situation to be in, to be an immigrant to this country during the economic downturn.
Yeah, I hear that there's a lot of problems trying to hold your family where you want it to be.
Yeah, and they seem kind of insurmountable. I'm not sure what could be done to avoid what's happening. And I mean, part of it is just the kids growing up. Part of it is that my husband and I are strangers in this country and don't know how to have a family and be part of this culture here.
Yeah. So what have you and your husband, have you ever tried to change anything?
We changed everything. We changed the country we lived in. We changed the style of living we were used to. We tried to set rules for the kids. Those backfired immediately. They just ignore us and talk behind our backs in English. And kind of make fun of us for not knowing, for not being able to get a job here. My incompetence in that way.
So, yeah, I know, I mean, since you, that was a huge change coming to the U.S., and I know that, you know, for many people, getting here is it's not easy. You don't just come on an airplane. What do you think? Do you think that was a good move or a bad move? If you could do anything different, would you do the same thing again?
I might stay behind and ask my husband to come with the children himself. I mean, I have very few doubts that my children will have a better future than they would have had. But is this a good way to live the second half of your life in a strange country where you don't know the language or customs? No, it's very lonely, it's very isolating. It's embarrassing to lose all the stature you've built. It wouldn't really be an option for me to leave my family either. Yeah. We did something we had to do, but that doesn't mean that we're going to enjoy the next 30 or however many years I live with it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you were talking about you said you felt embarrassed and what was the isolated? Can you tell me more about the embarrassment and the isolation?
Well, I can't afford to buy new clothes. I'm wearing clothes that were donated by somebody else to Goodwill, that smell like somebody else, that feel like things I wouldn't want my own clothing to feel like if I picked it out myself. That's embarrassing to have that imposed on you and not to be able to make choices about how you appear to the world. It's embarrassing to use a food stamps card at the grocery, to swipe that. I know, the sales checker people look at me dirty, and it's embarrassing not to have command over your household and your children, to have that totally be lost. Your children are just residents in your home and not, respectful towards you.
Yeah.
These things are all embarrassing and isolating.
Yeah. Do you wish that you could change the relationship with your children?
Yes, of course. I have no idea how to do that.
How would it be? What would it look like? How would you know it was different?
They would listen to me. They would follow my rules. they would help maintain the household and the way it looked. And they would be respectful.
Yeah. I think those are very reasonable things to want for your kids and your family. So would you, I'm not sure if you're interested. I know that our agency has a parenting class every year. And on the one hand, it's a parenting class, and there will be, lessons on being a parent in the United States and some of the challenges that even American citizens face raising kids in this culture. But also there's going to be different mothers with children of different ages. And the more women come like you, the more different voices there will be. And I think that it might be a good opportunity to be able to see if other women are having the same experience as you.
I don't even know if I can come wearing my scratchy polyester clothing to a circle of women. I'll think about it. I mean, obviously I shouldn't let my own sense of pride stop me from doing something that would help my family, but I'm not necessarily sure that what other people have to say would speak to my problems anyhow. I mean, I was running a successful household at home, and it is the transition that has ruined that kind of those relationships, or at least those relationships as I'd like them to be.
Yeah. Do you think it's ruined forever?
I don't know. My husband and I always joke about whether our kids have gotten enough out of us from back when we were home to know that they have to pay for us when we get older. So hopefully they'll be supporting us in our old age. And perhaps we will establish better relationships with them then when there's that distance, when we are in our own households. Yeah, I mean, this isn't a good time of, adolescence either. These are obnoxious, rebellious children trying to set their own boundaries. I mean, it's not easy to be a parent to a teenager anywhere, much less in a new country.
Mm-hmm. And in the United States, there's a lot happening. It makes it very hard, and I know it's also hard when you don't have the financial means to do certain things and provide certain things, but I did hear you said that, you mentioned that the relationship or the household is ruined. You mentioned that if maybe they moved away, that maybe in time they would remember you and value you as a mother and maybe kind of wake up and smell the coffee about, what you've given to them. I wonder if there's any other endings that can come. Any other ends of the story, so to speak, that could take place in your house with your family and your kids?
It doesn't feel like it, since we're trying so hard right now just to stay afloat and to have food every night and get employed where we can.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't seem like there's much energy for the fixing that would require. But perhaps it's just a storm that we have to ride out.
It could be, I wanted to ask about the employment. You mentioned in the beginning, you described a long process of applications and your resume. Can you tell me more about how the employment is and what your goals are?
To make any sort of income to contribute to the household. I go around to 7-Eleven and to Dunkin' Donuts and to McDonald's, and I bring them resumes that I've had spell checked, and I print them on good card stock at the library, and nobody calls me back.
Interesting. What do you think
I'm a foreigner. I'm older. Why hire somebody older when you can hire someone younger? I probably won't clean as well as they will. I'm not as strong as younger people are. And since I am part of no specialized labor market, I am competing against untrained youngsters,
Mm.
and there's nothing to recommend there.
What did you used to do before you came here?
I was a teacher, literature.
Oh, wow. For what ages?
Older kids in high school.
Okay. And how, do you think that you could be a teacher here eventually?
My language skills aren't good enough.
Mm.
I don't think I could read literature. I don't think I'll ever be able to read literature in English as well as I could in my native tongue. It was translated, and that's kind of a big disconnect with students.
Do you think you need to read as well in English? Like the same level that you spoke in your
Yes,
language?
yeah.
Really?
To be a teacher of something that's as language intensive as literature, yes.
Mm.
So it's not a real option for me.
Yeah. Well, I do know that some classes, especially ones if you're teaching about literature from your home country, it might be a benefit to have a stronger base in the native language than in English.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know if they're offering many Spanish literature courses in high schools.
Would you be open to it if I did some research to see if there was something like that?
Sure, yes.
Okay. And I know that you've mentioned English skills. One moment, please. There's somebody at the door. I apologize. Disculpame. So sorry about that. So I was asking you about English. I hear that you're not feeling very confident in English.
No, it's not my native language.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything you can do to make that different?
I could, but it would take away time from my job search and from trying to hold my family together and from shopping for the cheapest food available at the grocery store.
Mm. Yeah, it's a whole lot, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Overwhelming, really.
Mm-hmm. Well, something that I do want to encourage is, the parenting class and English classes, I know it's a lot to do, but with better English skills, your chances of finding a good job that you'll like will increase.
Yeah, I heard my friend, who's also an immigrant, say that she could probably help me find a nannying job. And that would get the income going sooner, and hopefully that would be for 40 hours a week. So really, pretty soon I won't be having time to take lessons at all.
Mm. But it sounds like it will solve the job situation. At least it's a job for now.
Yeah, it's minimum wage, and I'll be taking care of 3 or 4 kids and helping them with their Spanish.
You think they can help you with your English a little?
No, maybe a little. But it's kind of funny that I'm leaving my own kids to run wild in the streets of America while I'm watching somebody else's children.
I understand. How old are your kids?
James will be 14 a week, and Sarah is 15.
Okay. Well, I think we're just about running out of time, but I want to hear more about James and Sarah, right? Yeah, maybe next time we can pick up and talk a little bit about them. How do you feel about how today went?
Pretty good. Hopefully next time we can come up with strategies. I don't strategize about parenting skills that might help me with James and Sarah.
Yeah, definitely. And maybe we can get a little more info on the refugee parenting class between now and then, too.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Gracias, Laura. Hasta luego.